Guys, getting ready for a big weekend in the world of sports. Time to bring in our good friend, Mike Igor's Locks. Guys, you can always catch him at 2sportsinvestors.com. Him and our good friend, of course, Charles Michel's got you covered in the world of soccer. Igor here has got you covered with pretty much everything else that you need to know, including college football, NFL, couple of games coming up this week. In fact, I believe last time we spoke to you, my friend, you cleared the board here. I believe you went 2-0 on the show last time we had you on a couple of weeks ago. One college, one NFL game. It's been going pretty good for you this year.
Yeah, so far so good, especially on your show. I think we're 4-0 so far on the show this year. So let's see if we can keep that going out there for everybody this week.
Let's do it. All right, so college games, let's start with one I know a lot of people are excited about, of course. Those that enjoy the Pac-12, they kind of think they've got somebody that's heads and tails above everyone else finally. How about Oregon-Washington? Still trying to figure out how Washington lost to Stanford after watching them play and lose to UCLA. But you got an Oregon
UCLA
team.
Killed them. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm just curious how that happened. So Washington, Oregon, It's not a big number here, man. What are you looking at in this game?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that the fact that it's all the way on the West Coast, this game would be definitely a lot more in the public's eye, per se, if it were in the Midwest or the South, maybe. But, yeah, the number's low. Oregon's laying the 3 points here. And I love Oregon this week. We love Oregon. Yeah, and it's people really are right to think, especially out on the West, that they're getting disrespected a little bit. That first game of the year when Oregon played Auburn, what did Auburn lead only like a minute and a half of the entire game? I mean, they basically, Oregon controlled that whole game, and Auburn basically got, the only a little bit of offense they got was right at the end. And, yeah, Oregon is just, after that, it was the first week of the year, so everybody's like, okay, put the Pac-12 to bed, forget about it. And I don't think that's the case, man. Oregon, especially in the trenches, is a real deal football team. They're like old Big Ten type physical, how the in like Big Ten, or rather SEC defensive linemen, quick and physical. They've got big stud dudes in the trenches. And here's some numbers for this series. And it's really interesting because this is a big game out west. Even though Washington State, the Apple Cup, Oregon State, you got the Civil War. This is technically probably their biggest game against each other. This is the biggest rival that they have. And because of that, these games are usually close, and rarely do you get a home dog in this series, okay? Very rarely. And here's some telling numbers. As a home dog versus Oregon, Washington's 0-4 straight up and against the spread all time in the series. It doesn't happen often. It's the first time since 2013. I mean, it's a whole time in the series, so that's pretty impressive. Also, you got Oregon going 7-2-1 the last 10 against the number versus Washington, and even that continues to 12-2-1 over the last 15 against Washington. And the kicker is Oregon is 5-1 against the spread on the road. That's very, very nice to see.
Yeah.
Like I said, you just don't. It's always a big game, and they're usually two of the better teams in the conference. And especially over the last decade, they've after USC kind of fell off a little bit, they've kind of run the conference, and you do not get a home dog in this situation too often. And a lot of people have that home dog. You see home dogs, especially as you get later in the year. You got a tendency to try to just jump on them, but I just would not in this case. I really think Oregon's a good football team. They know that they have an opportunity here with a big win and an impressive win, moreover, that they will be able to get back in the mind's eye of everybody in the college football world, and hopefully with a strong finish, maybe sneak into the playoff even. Even though everybody might burn something down south or whatever, if they get in, they'd be aggravated. But Oregon is a good team. They're a really good team, and especially up front, guys. Like I said, they've got some really good prospects on the lines, both lines, especially offensive line.
Yeah, they got some defense there in Oregon. So you like Oregon on the road as a favorite. Don't be afraid of it. You got one in the NFL too as well here in your neck of the woods. Some good news: Chicago Bears Trubisky is back. Bad news for the New Orleans Saints. We've got Alvin Kamara not back, not playing this week, already ruled out. Teddy Bridgewater looks like at least another start or two before Drew Brees comes back. Another, short number here in this game. Who do you like? New Orleans on the road in Chicago coming off a bye.
Yeah, New Orleans is catching 3 here. This game too, the Bears have a pretty significant injury too during the week. Even though Trubisky's coming back, they did have to put Kyle Long on IR, which hurts. Even though they've had to do it the last, I think 3 out of the last 4 years, if I'm not mistaken, or 4 out of the last 5, whatever it is. But they've been used to him missing time. But he kind of leads that. He's the linchpin of that group up front, so that's not nice for the Bears. But the point in this game this week, though, I like the Bears minus the 3. And the under. Go with both. It's under 38 the last I saw. I like the under and the Bears. I'll give you some quick numbers here. First of all, the under is 10 out of the last 15 that New Orleans has played. So, especially people have been all over them. That basically has kind of started a little bit before that Dallas game last year on Thursday night when New Orleans went to Dallas and was basically lighting the world on fire, and Dallas kind of shut them down. Ever since then, people have kind of been on the Saints a little bit. They know how to play them a little bit better. Like I said, take away Michael Thomas, you double Michael Thomas, and let that side of the field be taken, and just worry about the other side, and play your zone coverage on the other side. But just double Thomas, and then try to let Ted Ginn beat you, or Jimmy Graham, or whatever. And they really, those guys, Jimmy Graham's good, but I'm not a big Ted Ginn. The Bears here, 11-5 against the spread the last 16. Bears also, even with Trubisky coming back, I'm not sold on that offense, really. In fact, Chase Daniel really looked better for a lot of the time that he was in there than Trubisky. We'll see how cautious Nagy will be with the playbook, but with the Bears here anyway, talking about the total and going under the points here, Chicago's 11-5 against the spread last 16. Okay, out of those 8 out of 10 have gone under. In the series, the Bears versus the Saints, total's gone under 4 of the last 5. And the Bears are also 5 out of 5 unders the last 5 at Soldier Field. So those are some pretty good numbers. Also, the Bears are 4-1 against the spread the last 5 versus the NFC South, which is, you take that or leave that depending upon, there's quality of the teams and when they play them during the season. But yeah, Kamara being out also really helps your under if you're going under. And the Bears, as far as the Bears being concerned as a team, they're going to be ready after that London debacle. This is kind of they're not necessarily in the position that the Eagles are in, where it's sort of almost a season-defining type game. But it's close, though, because that Central Division, the North now, is probably the toughest division in football. If not, it's the second toughest. Really, all the teams in there are good football, solid, good football teams. Yep. And they really know that they can't, after, they kind of went to London thinking that Raiders game was more or less in the bag. And, they got surprised. And then the fact, when they see Gruden dancing around like that in the locker room, I know that hit a chord with some of the older veteran-type guys in the locker room. And I expect the Bears to come out and really win. And I actually think they might win handily, to be honest here.
All right.
But I definitely think it's going to go under, though.
You like the Bears
and take the under.
You like the under, and you like Oregon, guys. You got 3 plays right there. Make sure you're tailing him on his on Twitter page, guys, at @Locks_Igor, at @Locks_Igor. But, of course, all plays available, guys, at twosportsinvestors.com. That is twosportsinvestors.com. Mike, appreciate your time as always, my friend. 4-0 so far on the show, looking to make it another 6-0 here. Another 2-0 weekend, 6-0 altogether. Good luck with your plays, brother, as always, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks. Sounds good, buddy. Let's drill, everybody.
Let's do it, man. All right, get there. twosportsinvestors.com. Thanks, Igor. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, guys.